I'm out here grinding. I do this for the streets, the runners. Cause I'm out here grinding. I don't care what nobody say, I'ma be me. Stay hood, stay raised in the streets. Talk about greatness whenever they speak about me. Cause I'm out here grinding. I ain't splitting nothing with nobody, homie. I gotta get me. I ain't slipping 8 days, I can go for 8 weeks. Ain't nothing to me, cause I am the street.
Put my life on the line, but I'm likely to ride. I'm on top of the game, you feel like it or not. That's how I get the free strawberry sushi sweet. You be dealing with when you dealing with cheese. Now she deal with the realest, shopping like it's still December. Diplomat on the fender of the phantom, I'm the winner. I do it for the hood, I do it cause you can. You suckers wish you could, Ricky Ross in the bank.
Hey fans, heard you bringing my name up. Know you want me bad, think I give a fuck. Bet indictment now for price go up. Came in the world thugging, leaving with big. Yeah, I run with on me, so what? What you want me to say?
Welcome to the Boston Sports Entertainment Roundtable. This time we are doing the Patriots Edition, brought to you, like always, from the Boston Sports Entertainment Network. And we are partnered, bam, with trustedjerseysupplier.com.co. When you want a jersey right now, they're like 25 to 50% off. Great quality. In your order, type in the words BSEN in the comments on your order, and you're getting a free gift sent with your order. That's trustedjerseysupplier.com.co. Guys, what's going on, man? You guys, Pat's Nation Nightly is here. You guys, I should have had you do the intro. You guys are way smoother than I am at the intro. We also got Adrian here, from one of the co-hosts of Dynasty Proud, but we're talking Patriots tonight. Let's start with you, Zach. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Just ready to talk some ball. Patriots looking good. Little 9-game winning streak. Nothing, not too big of a deal, but yeah, excited to get back on here and just talk shop.
Yeah, Ben, what's going on, man? Long time no see.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate the opportunity, as always, to talk Patriots football. Like Zach said, 9-game win streak. Will that continue is to be seen, because, as we all know, there was lots of injuries that have occurred in the last 2 weeks, which I'm sure we'll get into later in the show. But like Zach was saying, just excited to be here and to talk some ball.
Absolutely. Adrian, look at you all geared up. And it's backwards because, you're from Dynasty Proud's the Celtics podcast wearing Patriots gear. I'm here wearing, the Pritch Please shirt, representing the Celtics on the Patriots podcast. A little confused, man, but what's going on? How you doing?
Good, man. How you guys doing? Excited to talk some Patriot football today. Looking forward to see how they do extend this win streak. We played the Giants on Monday. Injuries. Bad day for injuries yesterday.
Yes, and one of the biggest ones was Will Campbell overall with the injury. But 10-2, leading the division. What a year makes, from last year to this year. A couple key additions. Zach, let's start with you. What do you think is the biggest surprise overall for you in these New England Patriots this year?
I would say after, in this winning streak, I'm going to start it from after week 3 or week 4, just how little lapses there have been from this team. Did I expect this team to be good? Yes. Did I expect this team to be this good? No. That's because even great teams lose to bad teams sometimes. And the Patriots, are they a great team? I would say borderline, but still, great teams, it's tough for them to go on a 9-game winning streak. So that's been the biggest surprise for me, just how they've been able to pull out wins week in and week out, no matter the team, no matter how easy, how difficult of a team they're playing. It has not mattered. There have been no trap games that they've fallen for. There's been just nothing that makes you think this team might not be that great, because they have just gone in and handled business.
Ben, a lot of people are talking strength of schedule and how horrible and borderline easy the schedule has been for the Patriots. You know, the big hump would have been the Buccaneers game. But what do you sit there and think, Ben, how well they're playing? And, you know, can you really fault them for the schedule? Because they're going out there and doing what they're supposed to be doing in the first place.
Yeah, I have a few points to that question, and I'll start with the gap between the talent of the worst NFL team and the best NFL team is very, very small. Any single NFL team can beat any single NFL team on any given week, and it's not like college. It's not like high school. Like, the talent is so minuscule in the NFL. And it's also the Patriots didn't pick their schedule. It's the result of losing back-to-back 4-win seasons. Like, they had back-to-back 4-win seasons. That's what you get. You get an easier schedule. And the most impressive thing for me that I've seen so far is the ability to win games, not lose games. And I feel like that is really, really simple, but it really comes down to the Patriots. They're aggressive on fourth down, right? They're trying to win the game. They're not trying to lose the game. They have very few turnover plays. Yes, Drake Maye just had a pick six. He had a pick interception in the end zone the previous week, but they cleaned up the fumbles. They had five turnovers against the Steelers, right? They have cleaned that up. And again, penalties here and there, but they're really playing football to win and to not to lose. And that's my takeaway so far of this 10-win Patriots.
Yeah. Adrian, let's sit there and talk, you know, what do you think about these rookies that, you know, we drafted and they're coming to play, and are they the ones that are helping along, you know, the big difference from last season to this season, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's the rookies and the new coaching staff. I believe there's 5 or 6 rookie starters on the squad from this prior draft class. You got Campbell, well, he'll be out, but Campbell, Wilson, Woodson, the kicker there, Borregales,
Travion, if you want to count.
Yeah, Travion, yeah. So this was a good rookie class. And so the youth incorporated with all the free agencies really made a difference in this year's squad and the coaching staff. It's a complete 360 from last year.
So let's just, you know, get rid of the elephant in the room. What do your guys think is the play difference between Maye VP and just Drake Maye from last year?
Yeah, I'll answer that first really quick, and I'll just lead off with saying that Drake Maye, it's like he's playing 5 seconds behind 5 minutes and 5 seconds in front of the actual play. Like, he is seeing the game so slow, and when you're watching the film and when you're watching the tape, you're like why? How can he digest everything that's happening so fast? He almost reminds me of like Drew Brees in a way, just the way that he is really digesting everything in front of him and really picking out the coverages and the fronts and making smart decisions with the football. I think that has really stuck out for me. I think the MVP really is going to go to Matthew Stafford as of now, just because what he's doing in LA is really, really good. But again, Drake Maye has taken that step because he's just seeing the game way slower. And I don't know if you have the same feeling, Zach, but that's how I see it.
Yeah, I think Ben jumped in because he knew that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Drake Maye, to the credit of Josh McDaniels, is just seeing the play before the play. He knows the defense that is going to be ran. And he is sorry, I'm distracted right now because Syracuse basketball is going into overtime with Houston. But Drake Maye,
number 3 Houston, just
number
3.
3 Houston, Syracuse basketball. So if you see me looking off to the side, my apologies. But yeah, Drake Maye is just seeing everything before it happens. He knows what the defense is going to do, and the offensive scheme is so much better. The offensive talent is so much better. Not that it's great. He still has a below average to average offensive line. He still has a below average to average receiver room, but that's a whole lot better than bottom 3. You know, I'd much rather have the 18th best receivers than the 30th best. So there's a huge difference there. Again, mostly it is Josh McDaniels who's just helping him see the game, how it has to be seen, and it is the talent around him, which has gone from abysmal to around average.
Adrian?
Yeah, I agree with you guys' points. Josh McDaniels has made a big difference. Looking back to last year and this year, it's completely different. Josh has made the game slow the game down for Drake this year. A lot of film study, I believe, going on. A lot of old Brady tapes. But yeah, I mean, the coaching staff is completely different. I mean, last year we had Gerard Mayo, who couldn't coach himself out of a milk container. I mean, but this year is just completely different. And I think Drake Maye, the best is yet to come. I think there's another level. There's another plateau that he can reach. It's just a matter of time. He's still only 23 years old, so the best football's ahead of him.
Yeah, and I want to stay looking at things, but not, compare him directly. But his play now this season kind of reminds me of Tom Brady, where he spreads the ball around, to any and everyone that possibly could be open. You're going from his top target from Diggs, then you got Hunter Henry. Who do you guys is the biggest surprise in his receiving / tight end core this season?
Yeah, I would say it's Mac Hollins. Simply enough, that's just been a reliable guy who third down, you need a big completion. Mac Hollins is there, sure-handed. Someone who I think when he was signed, a lot of Patriots fans weren't too enthusiastic about it. During camp, a lot of fans were complaining, oh, he's going to take reps away from Kayshon Boutte. He's going to take reps away from Kyle Williams. And sure, that has been true to an extent. Mac Hollins has been a lifesaver for this team just on third downs when it's really needed, as a deep threat, as a guy who will get you 10 to 15 yards. It's been Mac Hollins is the biggest surprise in that room.
Yeah, and I just want to build on here. I think just moving really quick to the defensive side, because Mac Hollins would have been my offensive player. I look at it as a group of just a few people who, before the season, you look at them and you don't think they're going to make a big impact. You think this is going to be like an 8-9 win Patriots team, maybe a 7 win. But you know why their defense has been stout against the run and their defense is helping them win these victories? It's because of these underrated players like Tunga and Chason and Craig Woodson, the rookie, and Jack Westover. All of these guys, Robert Spillane, all of these guys range from veterans to rookies, but they've never really carved out the starter role until this season with the Patriots. There was someone on the broadcast last week who said something along the lines of, there's been 9 out of the 11 players starting on the Patriots defense has been cut at some point by an NFL team. And that just goes to show you, how impressive it is that they're all working together.
Yeah, that's how you build a team. I mean, you get guys that have something to prove, guys that just want to work, guys that can conform to a particular coaching style, and they just loaded up on that this offseason. even with Melton Williams, he's a team guy. All these guys just want to play together, play for each other. And that's what Vrabel's brought to this team. There's just that middle of that roster is just really good right now.
So a person that I drafted in fantasy football was disappointed until, a couple weeks ago. What do you guys, Henderson? That dude, is just completely on fire. What was it? 5 touchdowns in 5 days span? Like, that is absolutely crazy. So, is that the spark that the Patriots really needed to go to the next level, you think?
To an extent, I would say. I don't know if I'd call it the spark to the next level, because by the time Travion Henderson broke out, the Patriots were already on a 6 or 7 game winning streak. So I don't know if I would say that that's like the spark that brought them to the next level, but has it been helpful? 1,000%. You can't overemphasize a player scoring 2 touchdowns and then 3 touchdowns in back-to-back games and averaging I don't know the exact number, but a very, very healthy amount of yards per carry. So I would expect Henderson to have a larger impact down the stretch. And I mean, at the beginning of the season, he wasn't used at all. So that's a pretty low bar for him to have a bigger impact. But yeah, I think it's been very helpful. I don't know if I would say it's what sparked everything, because the Patriots were already having plenty of success, even when he was kind of riding the bench a bit more.
Yeah, that's a good point, Zach. And I just want to bring up how Henderson, even in college, never really was the running back 1. And it's really, really helpful that they have Stevenson, even now that he's gone from injury, or he's back from injury, I should say, because Henderson isn't the type of running back that you should have 16, 17 carries every single game. He had 17, I think, last week. He's not going to put up with that workload over the course of the season, especially with the late round bye. So, again, I think it's the pairing of Stevenson and Henderson. They struggled in the beginning of the season. And, part of it is it takes 11 guys to block, or 10, excluding the quarterback. But really, it's 11 guys to make the play. And you can't really put all the blame or the lackluster run game on the running backs. A lot of the line play hasn't been sufficient enough when it comes to run blocking and, getting to the second level and getting to your assignment and getting off blocks, all those things the offensive line needs to work on. Now, they make up for it because they actually are pretty good pass blockers when you look at it. But I feel like it's the pairing of Stevenson and Henderson which really elevate the Patriots' offense.
Yeah, that pairing, you sort of compare them to Detroit with what they have with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. The same thing, you got the power guy, you got the speed guy, the home run hitter. I agree with what you guys said about, Henderson can't carry the load. He's not a 20 carry guy or a 25 touch guy. He's gonna 10 to 15. Break a couple long runs. He's an outlet guy, catch it and make somebody miss and pick up some yardage out on a swing pass or something. He's just very versatile, very fast, and he's got some juke to him. He's going to make guys miss. The first guy's not always going to take him down. That's what I'm impressed with him. He's tough though. Even though he's a slight guy, 205 pounds, I think they listed him as. He's got some toughness to him. He'll lower his shoulder and try to knock somebody down,
So I know, Zach, you and Ben did a trade deadline show.
Yep.
And you guys touched base already, but what are your guys' thoughts again, to recap, people maybe didn't see it, on the Patriots doing absolutely nothing? Do you think that was the right move, or do you think there was things in play that could have got them, going further than, but you can't say that they did something wrong because they haven't lost since then either.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel has not wavered in the fact that the Patriots are in in year one of a multi-year plan. And I believe him on that. And yeah, year one is probably going better than you would have expected, but still they're in year one of a multi-year plan. And with that, you don't want to give up draft capital when it's unnecessary too. Uh, you want to have your picks. You want to make moves that make sense for the team and mostly for the future of the team. So the trade deadline in the middle of the season is a time where players are selling for a premium. Uh, it's when teams are desperate to make acquisitions that'll help them out in the long run. And to put it simply, the Patriots weren't going to be one of those desperate teams. So, yeah, it does sting a little bit. The Patriots are a winning team and maybe don't have the best roster, and they weren't willing to make a move necessary to kind of put them over the edge and make them a fully competent roster, or at least put them a step further towards being a fully competent roster. But again, you don't want to overpay for a player, and at the trade deadline, that's what you're going to be doing most of the time.
Yeah, I just want to touch on doing nothing, in my opinion, is actually doing something, because the Patriots really didn't get bossed around. And the thing with this is Elliott Wolf is also playing the long game here. If Elliott Wolf, say Zach is offering me Calvin Ridley, right? Let's just use him as an example, first player to come to mind. And I say we're negotiating back and forth, and he's like a third, and I say like a fourth, and I go to him. He wins the compromise. Then the future time that I want a player from Zach, he's gonna raise that minimum bar, right? I don't know if I did a good job of explaining that, but it's just the fact that you want to stay put and you always want to stay true to yourself. And Elliott Wolf is playing that long game plan of he doesn't want to bite now, because then teams are going to expect him to not be a very good negotiator down the line.
Oh no, Ben, I absolutely got exactly what you're saying. It's for me, Red Sox podcast. It's kind of like the trade deadline with Joe Ryan, where we didn't get the deal done, but maybe it was just not that time, because Breslow didn't want to hurry the deal up and make a mistake on who. I totally get what you're saying, Adrian.
Yeah, I wonder how much of this is just the culture, the clubhouse. How much of this is the front office and Vrabel saying we got to get the right exact personality in this mix. We don't want to disrupt anything. We don't want to put a bad apple or a bad, somebody that doesn't really fit into what they're trying to do in year one of the rebuild. I think that may have played a little bit into it, and I'm sure the asking prices were outrageous. I'm sure teams wanted everything that the Patriots could offer. At that point, you sort of have to walk away. I mean, they're not a lower tier team this year, so you don't have to act desperate. Just ride it out and see where it ends up this year.
So let's go the other side of the ball, which I personally think this is the Patriots' bread and butter, the defense. And you've seen it in the Buccaneers game for number one, how they pretty much, stepped up and locked it down. What are your guys' thoughts on the defense? Who's the biggest surprise on the defense to you? And, do you think they are missing at all Milton Williams, because he's the one that's hurt. Am I right? Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. So with him being out, do you think that line, because there wasn't as many or hardly any blitzes against Cincinnati this past week, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. And well, to answer that second question first, 1,000%. Yeah, there's no way to not be missing Milton Williams. That is one of the premier players at his position, who has week in and week out proved that he deserved the massive contract the Patriots gave him. So yeah, to put it simply, yes, that loss has 1,000% been felt already. The Patriots' run defense felt a little bit lackluster this past week. The pass rush felt lackluster at times. So Milton Williams is a guy who, in most cases, will, if not fix that, help that significantly. Again, he's one of the best players at his position in the league. And then going back to your first question, the biggest surprise for me, without a doubt, Kairos Tonga. I know Ben mentioned him earlier. I know Ben probably was planning on mentioning him again. Tonga has just been everywhere. He was signed on a 1-year deal worth I don't know if it was the vet minimum. I think it was. If not, it was close to it. And he has exceeded all expectations in every way of the game. Run defense, pass defense. He's been a dog in the middle of the field, rotating in with Milton Williams and Christian Barmore. That interior has been a three-headed monster. And the drop-off between Williams and Barmore, who, in my opinion, are both having all-pro caliber seasons, has not really fallen off when Kairos Tonga comes into the game.
Yeah, for me, because I was going to say Tonga, I'll go with the veteran, Robert Spring, in the middle. He's just everywhere, every single play, sideline to sideline, run, pass. And I'll kind of also hop on what Adrian said a little before. It's the fact that everyone just gelled together so nicely and complemented each other's strengths really, really well. And even without Milton Williams, in the middle, one, I think it's a good news. The Patriots, I'm not going to say get lucky because they didn't get lucky, but the fact that Milton Williams, Will Campbell, Jared Wilson, Tonga, all these players are more likely to return in that divisional round or in that wild card round is really, really good news for the Patriots. Because, they already have 10 wins, but I will say Robert Spillane in the middle, definitely my player.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the rookie, Craig Woodson. For a rookie to come in, play that free safety position, and play at nearly 100% of snaps is just pretty good. I mean, all the film study, all the preparation that goes into it, that's not an easy task. As far as Milton Williams, I think they miss his run support. I think he was good at just, bottling up those running backs that chose to run inside. He's a good run stopper as well as, gets in on the quarterback and disrupts the passing game. I think that's what they miss. But, like Ben said, we get these guys back for the playoffs and we'll be fine going forward.
Yeah, just think, just look at the backs. You brought up Woodson, Jones, Gonzalez, Duggar, Davis III. Like, can you name a better, defensive back unit than what the Patriots have right now? Like,
maybe the Colts.
The Colts, yeah.
Debatably, yeah. I would say probably the Colts, but it's a Patriots unit is top 3, I would say.
Yeah, and I personally don't want to talk about the Colts right now because if Daniel Jones did that, a year or two prior, then I wouldn't be where I am right now. So, let's real quick. Patriots are 10-2. Their opponent is the Giants, a bye week, which they could definitely use with the amount of injuries.
1,000%.
Then home against Buffalo, at Baltimore. Oh my goodness! And then you're finishing out the season against the Jets and the Dolphins. So,
yep.
Yeah, sit them while you got them.
Yeah.
But what are your guys' predictions the rest of the way for the New England Patriots?
Yeah. If you had asked me this before Sunday, I would say the Patriots' only loss is against the Ravens. If you ask me it now, I would say the Patriots will lose to the Bills. This is just because of the injuries, right? Will Campbell likely out for an extended period. Jared Wilson likely out for an extended period. Brendan Schooler, I don't think there are any updates on him today, but he also left the game early. Milton Williams, I know his injury was longer ago than this past Sunday, but still, that's a big loss, of course. So I think the Patriots will fall to the Bills, although that game still could go either way. And the Ravens, I don't know at this point. They have been so hot and cold. Lamar is dealing with another injury. He wouldn't have practiced today if they put out those like simulated injury reports for days when they don't have practice. Just would they anticipate this player to participate today? Lamar was an anticipated DNP. So I'll say now they beat the Ravens, they lose to the Bills, and that's that. Although I could see them winning out, or I could see them losing 2 more games.
Yeah, similar to Zach here, I think it's very, very important that you beat the Giants on Monday night. Then you have the bye week and you go into Buffalo, you're hosting them. Like, that's going to be a game you should win. I don't have very high hopes for the game in Baltimore. I think that's going to end up getting flexed at Sunday night, but you never know. Drake Maye in primetime is pretty good. Then you start thinking about, right now they have a 58% chance to get the number 1 seed. That goes up in the 60s with a win against the Giants. And it goes up even more if the Broncos and Colts start losing some games, and both of them have a harder schedule down the stretch than the Patriots do. So take care of business against the Giants. You don't need to be full strength at that game. You have to play your best football, but you don't need Milton Williams and Will Campbell and Jared Wilson to be on the field against the Giants. You're going to need them against the Bills. You're going to need them Miami. You're going to need them Miami, why am I blinking? And Baltimore. But if Patriots can wrap up that number 1 seed and get an extra week, that's just going to be crucial for the postseason and the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm just worried that they lose to a team that they're supposed to beat. Either it's Miami or the Jets ending the season, which in that case, the seeding was probably determined and it probably wouldn't matter at that point. I think the team will get up for the good teams, Buffalo and Baltimore. I think they'll be up for those games, and I don't see a slip up really. Losing your left tackle is a huge thing, but Josh has done wonders with left tackles. Lesser talent in the past, whether it's chipping, sliding, help on that side, whatever he does, he'll help. Darian Lowe. I'm just concerned that they'll lose to a lesser team at when they should actually win. That's my only concern going forward. But I can see 1, maybe possibly two losses coming up, just because of injuries and a surprise here or there.
And our final closing thought: what percentage do you give Drake Maye MVP?
As of today, 30%. It's going to go to Matthew Stafford as of right now. But who knows? 2 bad weeks of Stafford and 2 more good weeks of Maye, and I think that could be up to 90% for Drake Maye.
Yeah, for me, I think it's going to be 40-50% in that range. The Patriots have the Giants coming up. That's a stat padding game. Drake Maye leads the NFL in yards, and he hasn't even had a 300-yard game yet. So I think 40 to 50%.
Yeah, I'm at the 35 to 40%. I think it's Stafford's to lose. I think I heard he threw 25 touchdowns in his last 3 games, only no interceptions or some crazy stat. So he's on a roll right now. I think it's his to lose. Just because Drake Maye, this is the first time he's in a conversation. He's still young, and you don't know how the voting is going to end up going. So,
man, see, I always think an MVP award is the most valuable. Like, if you take Drake Maye off this team, you're gonna go 2 years back and see what Mac Jones does. Even
I
though,
agree.
once again, Mac Jones over what he did in San Francisco was ridiculous. Like while Purdy was out. So, but man, it's gonna be fun. The city of Boston has 4 of the youngest, brightest futures in any city, with Drake May, Roman Anthony, Jason Tatum, and Pasternak for the Bruins. So, and hey, it is good to be a Boston sports fan. So, Zach, Ben, Ben, you're so on mute. But any idea of when you guys are going to be popping out another episode? I out of everybody that's at BSEN, you guys have the busiest schedule, but it's for a great reason. Schoolwork, family, all that stuff, college.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So so Zach and I are obviously on Thanksgiving break right now, and then we have definitely a few weeks off in December and early January. So I would imagine that the posting schedule is going to look a little like last year's, when we were a little more consistent, because we're going to be on break for a little more. But definitely check us out on Pats Nation Nightly on Twitter, Patriots Beat, and Pats.today on all the socials. And I'm sure I speak for Zach. We really appreciate you having me and him and I on, and I'm glad we can make this work, and I look forward to the next one.
Yep, Ben. Also, push your articles on.
Yeah.
On
the website, yes. So you're building a great brand right now, and I'm glad when I'm a part of it at the right now.
So, Adrian, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to be a part of this, Boston Sports Entertainment Network. Just building up, just brick by brick, we're on all socials, we just get a little bit more of a following, push the agenda, get people engaged, and everyone who loves Boston sports, let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, because Zach and Ben, you've been with us for a little bit. Adrian's is new. The one thing that we look for is passion, and everybody here at BSEN has the passion for one or all Boston sports. So, guys, hey, thanks for sitting there and doing the Patriots edition of the Roundtable. Make sure you give all these guys a follow. For Adrian, for Ben, for Zach, and myself, thanks for stopping by BSEN's Roundtable.